All right, lads. All right, we're live. There we go. There we go. I was wondering what I was going to call the live stream tonight because there's a bit of news. There's been a bit of news. And then once I heard Kovalev popped, I was like, I know what I'm calling this. I know what I'm calling this. 100%. I know what I'm calling this. And I know what the thumbnail is going to be. And I know we're going to spend a bit of time talking about, but there's other things as well. There's plenty of other things as well we can talk about. But man, I was looking forward to this fight, man. Lads, I was looking forward to this guy. I was looking forward to this fight, man. Melik watched a couple of his amateur footages, watched a few of his highlights. Guy looks good. Load of questions. Him against Kovalev. That would have been so much fun to watch. And we don't get that now. I'm not surprised in a way because Kovalev at this stage in his career, Jesus. I was surprised, right? Because I knew he had a 2-fight deal with the Zone following that Canelo fight. But damn, I didn't think that like his first fight back, he'd take a fight against a guy like Melikuziev. I mean, this is a guy who was what, 6-0 or something like that. You're willing to go in there, now, and risk that? Damn. I was a bit surprised at that now, I have to say. But we get some guys in the chat. We let your opinions known, what you guys think. And then we'll take it from there. I mean, literally, right, lads, before I went on here, right, I was looking at some of the live fights or some of the fights we have going for January. It's a write-off. Shit. We've got literally nothing to look forward to. I mean, there is literally precious little there. If it goes ahead, and I mean, it's an if, lads. It's an if. Because it's Don King at the end of the day. We know what kind of lad Don King is like. I mean, Don King, ever a man was just a piece of work, Don King. His card is still scheduled for. They still have Manuel Char versus Trevor Bryan listed as being a fight that's going to happen. So whether that happens, sheesh, I don't know. But God Almighty, I mean, January right now, it's a write-off in terms of boxing. There's not anything really happening. I still have Box Rec here open on one of the other tabs, and there's Caleb Plant versus Caleb Truax. That's not anything special. Some fights on in the States. Jesus, people. Then we get into February and things do get a little bit better. But Jesus, people. Austin Trout's fighting. Austin Trout's fighting in Mexico. Jesus, times are tough. Times are very tough. So yeah, that's where we're going. Oh, before I read some of you guys' comments, J Dev, what does he say here? Tunde will be all over Kovalev. Will be all over that Kovalev news. I wonder what he'll say, because he'll have a say on that, definitely. And I wonder, will he turn around and be like, well, maybe we didn't have testing in place for the Anthony Yard fight or so. Yeah, he'll be all over that. Big up to MVG. Big up to you, man. And salute to Don King. Hey, Don King has the G. He has the one shot himself. Christopher One Shot. I think I saw his name here. Yeah, there it is. Christopher One Shot Lovejoy. I mean, the man's fought absolutely. Christopher Lovejoy, right? What I find so funny about him is this is a guy who has fought nobody, but yet he's managed to kind of, because he's such a chancer, he's managed to con his way into the YouTube boxing community. Like me, Dale, and others will do videos on this guy. And I mean, there are plenty of guys who have no record, who we wouldn't even, who are like fighting journeymen, who we wouldn't even look at. But for some reason, One Shot, we want to do videos on him. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely flipping insane. Big up to Ben. Evening all. Evening everyone in the chat. Big up to Rich. Hashtag rocks. Of course, every time. Heard you on TalkSport yesterday. Yes. I love doing TalkSport, man. Always love getting a little bit of time on TalkSport. It's always good fun. Man, TalkSport is... If only we could be on longer. You only get like 10 minutes, if even. If only you could do a bit longer, man. It'd be sweet. But hey, I like getting the opportunity. It's all good. So where we go. We got hashtag GVans Rocks. Yeah, Darren said, good. Who would have thought January could get any worse? I mean, as I said, man, it speaks volume, right? When Christopher Lovejoy is the height of your January. seeing him fight is the height of your goddamn January. I mean, that just speaks volume. Oh, why is that off? So why is Rakhimov versus Diaz off? That, man, why are we getting all these fights cancelled? What's going on? Why is that fight off? Because I didn't see that fight was cancelled. I mean, I only saw Dale do a prediction video the other day. So why is that? Fuck me. I mean, these fights, I swear to God, who will replace Kovalev? Right, we've got 2 weeks. So I can't imagine it's going to be anybody good. E-Machine, I can't imagine it's going to be anybody good. I'm just trying to think. They wouldn't get anyone good. It's probably going to be just some guy who will. They're keeping the show. I reckon that they moved it to California, so I reckon it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, but yeah, I reckon they'll keep it as it is. They'll just get some. I don't know who they'll get to replace him, but they'll get some. Kovalev's really messed up, right? Because I'm sure DAZN. Think of it like this, right? He's lost a $2 million payday. I'm sure DAZN, knowing how hot and cold Kovalev can be. I mean, the fact is that didn't stream the Canelo fight or something like that? They were talking about taking him down the legal road, and now he's had this. If there's any loophole in the contract that he has with DAZN, where, because I think he's got like 2 fights with them where he's guaranteed something like 20 mil. If there's any like loopholes in the contract, then yeah, they are definitely going to be exploiting them to try and get Kovalev out. They will not want to pay him any more than they need to. And I think he's just going to retire. Boxing fans, jab the like button. Yes, you got to jab the like button. Who was Warrington fighting? I don't know. Michael Van Gerwen, because he was meant. There was all the talk was that he was going to fight that Can Zhu. Was that the guy's name? The Chinese guy. All the talk was about him. It's not him now. It's apparently there. Well, put it like this, right? Eddie Hearn said that fight's going to happen. I think he said it's going to happen in. When did he say it's going to happen? I think he said it's going to happen in May, probably. So likelihood is we're not going to see anybody particularly good. Like, if you're talking about a fight in May and you're going to be having a fight in February, it likelihood is it'll be probably just a quick blowout job for Josh Warrington or an easy enough fight, and then we'll get the unification. There's no word on that mandatory against Kid Galahad. I mean, like, the longer that gets pushed, the better, because I sure as hell don't want to see that. I don't want to see that rematch again, man. I don't want to see that fight. So I reckon, I don't know who they're going to get. If you look at featherweight, right, they're probably not going to get anybody amazing. Like, I'm keeping it off camera for a little bit. I'll probably go on camera in a wee bit, but let's have a look. See a featherweight who to get him in there with. If you're talking about having a fight 2 months later, you're not going to be looking at like the who's who of the featherweight division for Josh Warrington. I mean, he wants to have his comeback fight with Eddie Hearn. Would they put him in there? They'll probably put him in there against someone probably not too used. They might look at guys like Christopher Diaz or someone like that, or maybe someone lower down the card at featherweight. They're not going to put him in there with the best of the division, I don't think, anyway. So that's what that is with Josh Warrington. I missed a few people's comments. UU89. Bekdamir don't care. He still wants to fight to go on that date. Yeah, he has some heart, man. I seen that. Man, that guy will fight anywhere. That's what I like, man. He has that. He's going to go places, that guy. Bekdamir Melikuziev, he's going to go places because he just wants to fight. That's a guy. What is he? He's like 6-0. Right there, and I'll just double. Bekdamir Melikuziev. What? I think he's like 6 or something and 0. He's going to go places, definitely. Yeah, 6-0. He's meant to have the Kovalev fight. He's not. He's 24 years old. He's called the Bully. Man, he is going to go places. That guy just wants to fight. Like, he doesn't care. And you get the impression he calls himself the Bully, but like, seriously, most bullies don't have that kind of balls where they'd be like, I don't care if he's juicing. I'll still go in there. How many champions so juicing? Canelo did it? Yeah, man, I reckon. I'll put it like this, right? Do you all remember like how much Deontay Wilder goes on about, basically like, oh yeah, you know, people are juicing, you know, this, that, and the other, you know, all this. Yeah, you know how he goes on about all that, right? Well, does anyone remember when his brother tested positive? Marcellus, the child, and that little child, Marcellus Wilde. Does anyone remember that? Because he did. I think he tested positive back in 2019, and literally there's just been nothing said about that. So I reckon majority of these are. Seriously, I reckon I'd be amazed. I reckon they're probably all on it. It's just look at the cash cows. Like look at when Canelo got the clenbuterol. Look how quick the WBC were to say, "Oh no, there's nothing to worry about. It's all above board. It's all G. It's all fine." They were in there straight away, jumping to Canelo's defense. And would they do that to someone else? Probably not. But they were in there just jumping to Canelo's defense. So that's just the way. It's the way boxing is, unfortunately. Like if you are a cash cow in any way, and people are eating meals off you, I mean, it's not good. It's not looking good, lads. It's not looking good. You can get away with a lot of things because no one's incorruptible, if you know what I mean. Like you could have Vada who could say, "Oh no, we'll do this, we'll do this." It's like, nah, man. Most of these, they will. If they know that there's a payday in it, they'll just be like, "The hell with it." You need to listen to when Barry Hearn outsmarted Don King with the Eubank Benz 2 fight, strung him along good. I'll have to listen to that. Don King, what a like. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. If you're a fighter these days signing with Don King, there's just no excuse. I mean, look at Vanis Martirosyan. He signed with Don King, I think before he fought Triple G? I mean, and now he's saying he's worse off than he ever has been. And he's out with the ring, he can't fight. I mean, there's no excuse. Seriously. No excuse to be signed with. You know the guy's track record. You know what he does. If you're signing with Don King and getting strung along, there's really no excuse. I'm sorry, but there's just none. G-Man's rocks every time. Even the G-Man, big up Lovejoy is going to be the highlight. He will be. Flipping will be. Christopher Lovejoy. Jesus Christ. E-Machine says he doesn't know. I don't know who Lovejoy is. Oh, man. He was meant to fight Dave Allen back in October on the Usyk Chisora undercard. He's basically a guy who's got to 19-0 fighting absolute cabbages. Literally. Absolute unknown debutantes. Guys with horrendous losing records over there in Mexico. Doubt the validity of a good few of them fights. Look at the weights. Look at a guy. Go on BoxRec. There's a picture of him on BoxRec and look at Michael Smith. They're definitely the same person. And that guy, Michael Smith, hasn't fought since he fought Lovejoy. And you look at the picture. They both have pictures on BoxRec. They look exactly the same. Congratulations on TalkSport. Gave us advance notice. Well, I didn't get much notice. All right, we do this, and then we're good to go. So, I only get like 10 minutes, but it's still good fun. You have to be, like, I always feel like it's a bit like doing a live stream. You're going out to loads of people, but you really have to be careful. I could say, F this, F that, whatever. I can kind of say what I want on this, but when you're on radio, it's like, okay, you got to make sure you don't say anything or, you got to filter things a little bit. A bit like when I do my videos, I kind of filter it for YouTube a little bit. Henry Atkins, big up every time, my man. Big up to you, my friend. Eubank Jr. signed with Sarn? I have no idea who that is, bro. Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. Who wins? Big up to Kieran. Hashtag G-Man's rocks. Right. Right. That's an interesting one. Liam Williams strikes me as a bit of a bully in the ring. He strikes me as a bit of a bully. I see him being very physical. I see him and Eubank having actually that'd be a very good fight. Actually, I think Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. I see that being a very good fight, very intriguing fight. If I had to pick, I would go with who would I go with? If I had to pick, I would go with Eubank Jr. to win. The reason is I think that although Eubank Jr. mentally can be a bit hit and a miss, I don't think he'd let himself get bullied in there by Liam Williams. And I wonder if Liam Williams, if he doesn't put a dent in Eubank early, how would he be? How would he take it? So that's an interesting one. But I'll tell you one thing, it'd be a good fight. It'd be a very good fight. Liam Williams I rate highly, but I do always say, I do worry a bit, and I don't worry, but it's always when you see a fighter go, and look, this isn't a shot. It's just been consistent. When you see a fighter who was good, Liam Williams was a good fighter, right? And then he goes signs with Dominic Ingle, and he becomes this wrecking machine. You know, it's just, and Ingle's history, it's just, you do kind of ask questions. You know, it'd be different if you saw with Dominic Ingle, there was improvements here and there. But when he goes from the Liam Smith fight to fighting, you know, and going tearing through people, you just look at it, you're kind of like, you just be a little bit suspicious. It's just strange. But big up to Liam Williams. He is a good fighter. I'll give him that. Him against Munguia. If Demetrius Andre decides to go after Billy Joe and we get him against Munguia, holy, that will be a good fight. Pakev, I think I'm saying that right. Is there any Irish, good Irish youngsters coming through, like world title contenders? No, haha. I don't know. There's not many. There's not many, to be honest with you. I mean, like, Paddy Donovan is looking okay. We've got Niall O'Connor at super feather. Who else is there? There's what's the guy's name? The Moran lad. Is it Dylan Moran or something like that? He's been on a few of Mick Hennessy shows. I think it's Mick Hennessy shows anyway. There's been a few guys like that. So there's been a few okay guys at Irish level, but you know, a lot of Irish guys, they never seem to kind of cut the mold. I don't think. They just seem to kind of have that. I don't know what it is. They just don't seem to be able to cut it. They really don't. Some of them just don't seem to be able to cut it. I hope guys like, you know, Niall O'Connor, Paddy Donovan do well, you know, just to boost Irish boxing in general. But not really at world level. Not really, man. Truth be told, not really. Am I familiar with the Irish heavyweight Tommy McDonough? I've heard of him, all right, but I'll box rec him. I think I might know Tommy McDonough, the boxer. I think I might know. Yeah, the boxer. There we go. Is this the guy? Nope, definitely not him. Tommy McDonough, Irish boxer. Let's see here. I think I might. No. If it's, I was thinking of some other guy there. No, I'm not familiar with Tommy McDonough, the Irish boxer, bro. Hey, big up to AA boxing blunts every time. I heard it said Billy Joe can get the Canelo fight if he takes less money than Billy wants. Probably will want take 3 or 4 million instead of the 7 or 8. Yeah, it was something like 8 million he was meant to get last year, wasn't it? I reckon Billy Joe will Billy Joe, to be fair, he's doing well. He's staying in shape. I've seen some pictures of him with Tibbs. He's training. He's looking all right. He's getting ready, man. That was the biggest problem with the fight last time. He just wasn't ready, you know, by his own admission. So if he's staying in shape, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. The world's most boring boxer, Michael Conlan, is also the top. They won't put him in with Conlan. No way. Michael Conlan. I mean, my gosh, he is just. Do you know, right? For the last 3 of his fights, I've wanted to cover them. As I wanted to do a review with them after the fight, and I've just never been able to get through a Conlan fight. Like, he needs a new trainer. Adam Boot will not. They do not fit one another. He needs a Freddie Roach or someone like that. Michael Conlan. No way should he be with Adam Boot. I mean, Conlan, oh my sweet divine Jesus, he's just so boring in the ring. Like, I mean, that's the problem. Like, he's just not entertaining. And you do need to have a level of entertainment in there. He's just happy to go through the motions, box, and he throws a lot of low blows, does Conlan. Fuck, man, he throws a lot of low blows. You see him in the fights, that's how he tends to get a lot of these guys out of there, is with low blows. Seriously, it's crazy. Might type on here, Billy Joe fighting. Just ask my coach if I can. Man, Billy Joe. You know, I've done so many videos about Billy Joe. I do actually like watching Billy Joe. He can be boring sometimes. Sometimes he's just happy to go through the motions, but I always liked watching a bit of Billy Joe for the last few years. Anyway, he seems to drop a lot of weight. If he really gets himself in shape, how far can he go? If he gets himself in shape, right, and his feet are a bit quicker, he's a problem. He's a problem because Ruiz is a plotter because he's so heavy, right? So if Andy Ruiz could just get himself into a bit of shape, bit of decent shape, he's a problem. He's gonna be a problem for most guys, for most heavyweights. Seriously. You watch Andy Ruiz, if he can get himself. I've seen the footage. He said he's lost about 20 or something pounds fighting with Eddie Reynoso. Andy Ruiz would be a problem for most heavyweights if he can get himself in some decent shape. 100%. Serious problem. Right? Serious problem, Andy Ruiz. I hope, though, it's the discipline. Like, I mean, it's all well and good getting yourself in shape, but staying in shape. Like, he can get himself in shape for one fight. And then God knows what he'll do after it. You know, he needs to seriously be injured. Because Andy Ruiz has talent. You know, he didn't take a beating against AJ in the rematch. There's still a lot there. Looks like the British Border Control and the reputed use. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The exemption for that trip. Yeah. Changed the week before AJ turned pro. I know he has that exemption for testosterone. That's bullshit. Fucking bullshit. What can you do? Wilder at his team too. Oh man, Team Wilder. I mean, I swear to God. Vulnerably desperate. Yeah, I think that Martirosian, when he went to sign with Don King, he was having some issues. I think, outside the ring. And apparently it was Don King offered him. I think Don King put up something like 400 grand as a sign-on incentive. But it's not as simple as just getting the money and then you're fighting with Don King. He wants that money back. And then he keeps you. It's just, you need life insurance with Don King. You do. I mean, like, it's just, there really is no excuse if you're signing with Don King. There really, truly is no excuse if you're signing with Don King. It's put it like this, right? If you know someone's background and you know someone is as dodgy as Don King, basically, you know what I mean by that is, like, basically his track record is there for all to see. It's there for all to see. So if you know if that's Don King's track record and you're still okay with signing for him, I mean, I can't have much sympathy for you in a way. Like, and I'm very sympathetic, but like, when you know, it's like a girl in a relationship, right? Imagine, like, there's a guy and he's known for like for cheating on girls and hitting girls and stuff like that. And you know all that, but you still get with him, and then you're like, oh, he's hitting me. It's like, well, what did you expect? Like, I mean, like, that's just, you kind of have to, you can't just, yeah, there's no excuse. No excuse. They are all the drugs. I have access to screening agents, of course, multi-million. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them do. I'm sure screening agents play player. Who was it? Was it Luis Ortiz or someone who said that there was something like screening agent, like, that you can do something with those blood pills or something like that? Lovejoy versus Fury. Oh, Fury, definitely. Frampton versus Heron. I got Heron. I got Jamal Heron in that fight. I think that Frampton really didn't look good in his last fight. I mean, seriously, he really didn't look good. What was the guy's name? I forget the guy's name. I go on camera for a bit. I forget the guy's name, but he was like area level, like British/English area level. He really didn't look good against that fight. And I'm just thinking, he looked kind of almost disinterested, just kind of happy to stay in one gear against the guy who, if he'd have been fighting him on the way up, he would have took him out in a couple of rounds. So, yeah, that wasn't good. I would go with Heron on points, but but Heron's not looked good in his last couple of fights either. So I think they're going to complement each other in that sense, in the sense that both guys kind of more so on the back end of their careers. So I'm going with Heron on points. If this was in Belfast now, maybe. If this was in Belfast with a crowd, Frampton, but because it's not, because there won't be any crowd, I'm going to go with Jamal Heron. Because if this was in Belfast, I reckon that every grazing shot, because I've watched Carl Frampton live in Belfast, and every even grazing shot, the crowd goes bananas. They literally go ballistic. So I'd imagine that having it behind closed doors, Frampton really, like, when he fought last summer, what was the guy's name he fought? I can't even remember it. But Jesus, and Heron didn't look good either against Jonathan McKenna, I'll admit that. But both guys are coming towards the end. They're both at the back end of their careers. In the Millionaire, you need a doctor's note saying you are asymptomatic. I thought you said asthmatic there for a sec. Asymptomatic and you have access to certain banned substances. What the it just crazy. With Eubank being with Kella Sauerland, we can see him on Eddie Hearn shows again. Yeah, we could. I mean, the Sauerlands and Eddie Hearn, they've worked together plenty of times. And as I said, I just couldn't really understand why Sauerland. Like, maybe it is a good move because he can be on these different motor shows. Because as we know, Philip Hergovich is with Sauerland. I think there's a few others with Sauerland as well who fight on matchroom shows. So that's not a bad move in that sense. I was just thinking, would they have him in Germany? Then it was like, the Sauerlands don't put many shows on in Germany anymore because German boxing's been on the decline for a while now. Yes, that was who I always look for, the McKenna brothers. But German boxing's been on decline for a while. Like, I mean, pretty much ever since 2016, German boxing's been going kind of steadily downhill. You've seen less shows. A lot of the old guard are gone now, like your Felix Sturms, your Bramers. Who else was there? Abraham, kind of guys like that. The guys who were flying the flag for German boxing. I know, even though I think Abraham's not German, but they were flying the flag. They were flying the flag. A lot of them are gone now, or if they're not gone, they're barely sticking around. Who do you think would be Britain's breakout star in 2021? I'm liking Dennis McCann. I'm thinking they're going to step him up this year. I'm thinking they're going to do some serious step ups. If the Olympic cancelled from last year, they're probably going to do it this year. They'll definitely do it this year. Paddy Donovan looks talented. Yeah, Jay Quigley's supposed to be on the Beck Kovalev card against Shane Mosley Jr. Yeah, Nathan, big up to you, man. I definitely think that I think the card's still going to go ahead. I think they're just going to get someone in to fight Malakuziev as opposed to Kovalev. It won't be anybody decent on 2 weeks' notice, especially this time, like during like lockdowns and all that jazz. I mean, most guys probably wouldn't be doing that much training anyway, so it won't be anyone decent. But yeah, Jay Quigley versus Shane Mosley Jr. Shane Mosley Jr. is not that good. I'd imagine Quigley should take him. Quigley's all right. Quigley's not too shabby. Quigley should take. Mosley Jr. has lost a couple of times now, so. Billy Joe Saunders on here. Is he? Actually going through the comment section there. Big up Troll Network every time. Troll Network striking back. I seen that there the other day. Big up to you, man. Big up the Troll Network. Yeah, big up the Troll Network every time. Who's the greatest Irish trainer, in my opinion? Brendan Ingle. Yeah. Well, there's not many. In terms of Irish trainers today, you got Pete Taylor. Pete Taylor is very good. He's very calm. You got Packy Collins, who is a very good trainer. Very good from a technical point of view. The problem with guys like Packy Collins and Pete Taylor, right? They are good trainers, but as I've said earlier, Irish fighters, there's not such a depth of talent. Like, a lot of these trainers could be very good trainers. Like, you look at Packy Collins, some of the advice he was giving Niall Kennedy against Alan Babbage was very good. You look at like Pete Taylor with Tyrone McKenna, like the advice he gives these guys, and again with Tommy McCarthy, the advice they're giving is good. Pete Taylor very calm. Pat Collins very calm in the corner. They do good work. But the problem is that when you see these guys on Sky shows, a lot of the times their fighters will lose. That's not a reflection of them as a trainer, right? It's just a reflection of, right, they might not have the necessary talent, and they might not, the fighters, I mean, not the trainers, they might not have the necessary talent in order to be able to produce these world champions. It's not their fault as a trainer. Like, I mean, like, look at, like, who else is there? There's a few trainers. There's another trainer called Stevie O'Rourke. He seems like a decent trainer. But like guys like Pete Taylor, Packy Collins, good trainers, very good trainers, excellent trainers. They just don't have the depth of talent at this minute in time, So that's one thing. That's the most exciting fighter to watch. Yeah, man, he was something else. Bob Arum has confirmed about AJ versus Fury location, not in the US. Yeah, look, I really don't care where that fight takes place, so long as it happens. I'll gladly travel. Like, I'm going to that fight wherever the hell in the world it is, right? Because I can still travel. I don't want to wear you know what. And I just don't have. I'm just not bother traveling anywhere now anyway. But I'll go wherever that fight is, no problem, anytime. Rowan Dietz versus Paddy Donovan. Who wins? Paddy Donovan. Rowan Dietz is all right. He is. He's not too shabby. But I go with Paddy Donovan on that one. I think Paddy Donovan is more talented than Dietz. Dietz is all right, though. Don't get me wrong. Rowan Dietz is a good fighter. But I go with Paddy Donovan on that one. Yeah. Yeah. They both look fairly terrible, I have to say. You see, Akendo is not that good. You know, he's not world level anymore. But who the... Wait there a sec. I want to know. It's wrecking my head. Who was the guy Frampton fought? Because he fought a guy who was absolutely... And he won every round, but he didn't look as good. He looked like he was meeting the level of his opponent. What's the guy's name? I want to find it out. Because that's wrecking my head now. Darren Trainer. Darren Trainer was the guy's name, who was 16-3 at the time. And this was a guy who, look at this, fought absolute nobodies. He was knocked out by Ryan Walsh. He was knocked out by James Tennyson. He lost to a guy in Spain. He was 23-3. That was only in 2018. Then he had one fight against Des Newton in 2020. I mean, that was the guy Frampton fought in his last fight, and I didn't think he looked particularly good in that fight, in just my opinion. So, yeah, you can say that Jonathan Akendo, he didn't look good against Akendo, but seriously, man, I mean, you shouldn't be really... You should be blowing guys like that out of the water. Lions in the camp, yes. You know Tunde Ajayi is going to say something about this. You know for what he is going to be coming out. He's going to be like, you see, I bet with Anthony, it was this, you know. You know Tunde is going to have something to say. JPK, big up, yo G man, big up JPK. Muhammad Ali is the only fighter who got money from Don King. Don King was scared of Ali. Yeah, Don King knew he couldn't get through Ali. There's very few fighters end up leaving Don King with their money intact, I swear to God. Who's Frampton's trainer now? That's been his problem, switching trainers all the time. Is he not still with Jamie Moore? As far as I was concerned, yeah, no, I think he's still with Jamie Moore. Jamie Moore is a good trainer. You know, he's decent, Jamie Moore. Jamie Moore is a good trainer. Not gonna lie, I had a feeling Kovalev would test positive for PEDs. Not sure why. Just good at just a good feeling with the inactivity and the relatively low profile of the event. Yeah, alarm bells for me started ringing when I heard it was getting moved, because I was like, why are you moving it from Moscow to LA? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, like, I'd understand it maybe if they moved it from, like, because Russia is such a big place, they moved it like to Moscow to like Ekaterinburg or somewhere like that, because maybe restrictions are different there. But I was like, why are you moving it to LA for? And then obviously, then I was just thinking, I wonder, are we going to see this fight after all? That's just what I was thinking. I was like, are we actually going to see this fight? And then boom, it is what it is. Frampton and Heron have to fight each other as they both got hurt, or they both get hurt by Burchell and Stevenson. Yeah, Miguel Burchell would go through these guys. He would go through these guys. Jesus. Stevenson is very good. You know, he's impressing me more and more and more. He's impressed me more and more and more. Yeah, Klitschko. Yeah, Klitschko was never... Well, he was never with Sauerlands, to be fair. But to be honest with you, yeah, Klitschko was keeping German boxing going, because he was putting all them shows on in Germany, in Dusseldorf Stadium and places like that. So yeah, when they lost the Klitschko's in Germany, that was kind of... When you see Tyson Fury lose, but he beat Klitschko in Germany, that was the kind of beginning of the end of German boxing being this real big go-to kind of thing. Because once the Klitschko lost, we haven't seen a stadium fight since then, I don't think, anyway. Then you go in 2016, you know, Abraham lost his title, Bramer lost his title, Sturm started... I think Sturm was having issues outside the ring. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm a big up to Devon Sinclair every time. Yes, big up everybody. Delighted to have you here in here, bro. Delighted to have you in the chat. Good at Warrington versus you isn't happening. Yeah, man. I really wanted to see that fight, man. I really, really, really wanted to see that. Well, look, the good thing is, right, is that Eddie Hearn said that they're likely to do that fight in what, April or May. So if Warrington is out, and we're getting these announcements tomorrow, I think. So we should know what we're getting tomorrow with regards to fights. So like, if Warrington and Zoo is happening in April or May, you can't imagine that they're going to be amazing fighters. They're going to be amazing. The guy that Frampton or Warrington is going to fight, because I think Warrington just wants a run out because he signed for Matchroom a year ago. I think it was a year ago. Yeah, literally, I think it was a year ago when he signed the Matchroom. And yeah, oh, interesting. I'm just reading Twitter here. Bob Arum is not working with. He's not promoting this fight. The Frampton versus Heron fight is what it says here. Bob Arum is playing Top Rank, are not promoting the Heron Frampton fight, which was announced by MTK and Frank Warren. As there's a conflict of interest between Shakur Stevenson, who as reps have contacted WBO, insisting the mandatory shot must be next. Okay, wow. So big Frankie boy, house tricks. He's not looking after this fight. He wants his guy Shakur Stevenson to get his title shot. I mean, Shakur Stevenson's going to end up fighting for a vacant title, I reckon, because I reckon that Heron's going to win and he's just going to sail off into the sunset. 37 in the chat. Smash the like button, lads, if you haven't already. Big up. Kovalev probably has low T. I said that in my video. Just saying, that's one of the reasons why your boy drinks water as opposed to drinking beer. Although I do like beer, but I just very seldom drink it. Honestly, I swear to God, I see lads who are younger than me, like me, 27 years old, right? I see lads who are like 2-3 years younger than me, and Jesus Christ, I'm like, what the fuck? And I don't mean it in the sense of I just mean it in a sense of big beard and a beer gut, and it's just that they look about 30, they look like they're in the mid-30s. I'm like, lad, come on, and then I'm like, and then they're like, how old are you? And they're like, I'm 24. I'm like, come on now. Anyway, go back to that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way he's been performing. He's a scumbag, but I love watching Prime Kovalev. Look at the job, right? Look at Jan Pascal versus Kovalev and look at the job he done on him, right? And look at what he's done, Jan Pascal to Marcus Brown, Badu Jack. I mean, Kovalev, he was hurting Pascal with jabs to the body. He made Jan Pascal look like beyond finished. Pascal still has a good bit left. Kovalev is not a nice guy at all. He is not the sort of person I'd even have an ounce of time for Sergey Kovalev. I think, like you said, he's a scumbag, Nicholas. He is. I wouldn't give him an ounce of my time. But I like watching him fight. Prime Kovalev was great to watch. The skill he had, his jab, his heavy-handedness, his punching power, everything about his ferocity, his viciousness. Prime Kovalev was great to watch. Just because I don't like the guy, that does not mean at all that I wouldn't give the credit he deserves. He does deserve some credit. But right now, with these drug test fails, with these issues outside the ring, he's not doing his legacy as a fighter any good. He isn't. But I love watching Kovalev. I mean, I swear to God, Prime Kovalev, man, he was just Jesus. Imagine Prime Kovalev versus Bertabiev. That would have been I always thought Adonis Stevenson would have took Kovalev. I do. I think Adonis Stevenson left hand would have caught him. I think Adonis Stevenson would have caught Kovalev before Kovalev caught to Adonis Stevenson. Just my opinion, right? Just my opinion. Who do you have, Heron? I'm leaning towards Heron. I wouldn't be leaning towards him massively, but I'm leaning towards Heron. When I do my prediction video, spoiler, you know who I'm picking. Frampton later on said that he hated a fight without France. He probably performed better. Yeah, you see, that's what I said, right? If this fight happened in Belfast, in Windsor Park, or in the what is it? Is it the Odyssey Arena, or is that in Scotland? I forget the one. But if this had happened in Belfast, or Falls Park, or somewhere like that, I'd pick Frampton to win. He just raised his game when he has fans there, basically. You could tell in that Darren Trainer fight, Taylor fight, that, and it's going to be in London. There's still not going to be fans, so it's not good. It's not good. I don't think it's going to be. I think we're going to see a very lackluster Carl Frampton. Fast, man. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Big up. Why did I miss? You didn't miss much. We've just been talking about Kovalev and a couple of fights. Just talking about Kovalev and a couple of fights. I miss Kovalev. Been taking advice from Big Pharmacy Miller. Man, no one touches Jarrell Miller in terms of PEDs. That guy is just, man, that guy is just. Noel Mitchell said, I was chatting to a lady today in Little, and she has good information that AJ Fury is set for Croke Park in September. I would be absolutely amazed. I would be amazed if they would do that in Croke Park in September. And I'll tell you one reason why. I remember 2 years ago, right? 2 years, I paid €300 for this. I got it refunded. Tyson Fury was meant to do a meet and greet in DCU. In the Helix in DCU. Right? It was like an evening with Tyson Fury, right? I paid for the full VIP experience, right? I think it was like February 2019. And it was called off at like a week to go. Now, I thought he had a fight coming up, right? But there was a group of travelers basically wrote on the thing outside the Helix, you ain't welcome here. So I see a lot of issues with that if that fight happens in Croke Park. That's why I couldn't see it. And as well as that, the way Ireland's gone, I mean, Jesus Christ, man. But I honestly, what's up? Big up the TT 100 #GMan's rocks. But I'd be amazed. Like, I mean, Croke Park, it's definitely big enough. I mean, Croke Park would host. I mean, Croke Park would be massive. But I couldn't see it. I'd be amazed. I think that there'd be just too much. I could see something similar happening to what happened with that evening with Tyson Fury. Because I remember getting the text on my phone, and it was like, due to unforeseen circumstances, Tyson Fury won't be appearing in the Helix in Dublin. And I was looking at it, and I genuinely thought they were going to announce the Wilder rematch. I thought maybe he was going to camp or something. And then I find out that it was like loads of travelers just wrote on the walls, Helix, like, Fury's not welcome here. And they were like, well, he ain't coming here. So I was like, Jesus. So for that reason, I would imagine that I couldn't see it. For that reason, I'd imagine it's not going to happen in Croke Park. No way. I'm sure Don King ripped off Ali and made him sign a paper while Ali was in hospital not to sue him, and gave Ali 50,000. Ali was going to sue him for millions. Yeah. What a Don King. I mean, Jesus Christ. As I said earlier in the chat, no excuses. If you're signing with Don King nowadays, no excuses. As I said, you're male or female, right? I'm going to go out with that person. Oh, that person has a history of violence. That person has a history of adultery, this, that, and the other. I'll go with him anyway. What happened? Oh, he hit me and he cheated on me. Bravo. I mean, like, if you know someone's history, there's no excuse. Especially Don King, when you know there's so many fighters have had him up and down Cook. There's no excuse. I'd sooner sign with a nobody promoter than sign with Don King. Seriously. Kella saying Eubank is a top 5 UK asset. Thoughts, attention levels, yes. Boxing ability, no. I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that, George. His boxing ability is not there, and I don't think Roy Jones is going to make it any better. I really don't. I don't think his boxing ability under Roy Jones is going to get any better. I think Roy Jones is going to teach him his athleticism. He's going to how to use athleticism, but in terms of his boxing ability, no. But in terms of him selling, Eubank is still a pretty big. I'll put it like this: I do a Eubank Jr. video with those very good numbers. You know, still. So he's a draw. He's still a draw. Hey, G-man, boxing fam thinks. Big up the boxing fam every single time. Big up to Penny Royalty. Sounds like Ireland gone proper downhill since I lived there. You keep saying, yeah, it's Sarah. Big up to Sarah. Ireland's my home. Dublin's my home. Like I'd travel, but I'd always want to live here. But yeah, it's really, yeah. Ireland has gone. It's gone to the dogs. It's my home. I'd always travel. Like I want to get back to the UK and get back to doing some, media work over there and stuff like that. But I'll always come home to Ireland. But it's really gone to you see, the one good thing, the Ireland's saving grace, is the places in Dublin, like places like kind of like Russian, Lochshinian and places like that, which are kind of country kind of areas. They're nice. They're good places. They're good places. They're places where your boy want to live. They're places where your boy want to live. They're places where your boy want to live. Where are we saying? Yo, big up to Joe Stunner. Oh, your comment just disappeared. What the hell? Wait there a sec. Comment just disappeared off screen. Bit late. Oh, actually, Man's Rocks. Bit late today. How's everyone feeling? Fine. Hope everyone's feeling fine. We all G, Joe. We all G. We talking boxing, so we all good. Oh, look who's in the building. Big up to Unrival. Your home's a kip. Me fucking home is lovely. It's where I do my videos. My fucking home is lovely, Mark. Unrivaled. The curtains are shitty, but the home's nice. This is the couch. You remember I used to do the videos on the couch? Fuck me. Don't be doing that. I like the chair over there. Like, I'll see if I can shoot me out. That's where the chair is. The legendary your boy's chair. You get a tour of the living room. Oh, he's talking about Ireland. Yeah. Yeah, it's gone to the dogs a bit. Yeah, it has gone to the dogs. You hope Dylan White wins. We thought about Povetkin. Yeah. I reckon he will. I reckon we're getting that in I think March the 6th, they said. So we'll see how that goes. Evening G-Man. Where is a boxer's armchair? Where is a boxer's arm reach measured? It's measured from the elbow to the end of the fist. So like your reach is measured from like one arm across your chest to the other, but the armpit to the end of the fist. That's where your arm reach is measured from. An arm reach is a lot more accurate than actual reach, because you could be a fighter who has a longer reach than someone, but you could still have the longer arms. Like if you look at Oscar De La Hoya when he fought Floyd, like Oscar had the longer reach, but look who was able to control it at long range. Floyd was. So that's what I say about reach. I missed a few comments, so I'm going to go back on some of them. Billy Joe versus Plant. Who do you fancy? Billy Joe. Caleb Plant's okay, but late on in the fight, he really does tend to fade. He's okay, Caleb Plant, but he's just, in my opinion, he's just okay. That's what I think about Caleb Plant. What do you think of Gonzalez versus Strada? That fight better happen. If it doesn't happen, then I want to see one of them fight Kazuto Ioka. That fight better happen. I want to see that fight. I saw Mark's video yesterday where he was talking about that. That fight better goddamn happen. If it's a money issue or anything like that, just give Francisco Estrada what he deserves, because the guy is flipping amazing. I love watching Estrada. Estrada is one of my top 5 favorite fighters to watch. I mean, the accuracy, the counter punching, I just love watching him fight. Gonzalez still has a load left. If it does, it better happen this fight. I think it will. I'm picking Estrada to win. I really want to. I want to see that fight, and I want the winner to fight Kazuto Ioka, ideally, in an ideal world. Murata versus Eubank is what I see happening. Murata going to want to keep his title while making a defense part of the bit. Yeah, I reckon. But the problem is, he is a big star in Japan. He's a big star in Japan. So I reckon they'd want to do that fight in Japan. Who's your 2020 trainer of the year? Who's my 2020 trainer of the year? Jesus, see, 2020, there was not much going on in 2020. my 2020 trainer of the year? Meh. Eddie Reynoso's okay. He's done good, but Canelo is a known quantity. 2020 trainer of the year. What do some of you guys say in the comment section? In fact, actually, that's a good shout by Nicholas, Virgil Hill, or Sugar Hill, Virgil Hill, Sugar Hill, Ismail Salas. I was thinking Shane McGuigan, just because I like what he's done with a certain of his fighters. I think Fowler's looking a bit better under McGuigan. I know Colley's looking a bit better under McGuigan. Not necessarily what they've won, but Salas with Joyce. Joyce needs to stick with Salas. Joyce and Salas is working well. By the way, I never thanked you for the super chat. Big up, Mark. I forgot to thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Oh yeah, in Japan. Yeah, no, they definitely do that in Japan. No way they bring him to the UK. No way. No way. Salas trains Ugas, Ioka, and Joyce. What a stable. I remember Salas used to train. Slip me mind. What was his name? Fuck. Linares. I couldn't think of it there. My prediction for this year, Oscar is surprising everyone. I want to see Oscar come out of retirement and send Golovkin into retirement, call out Canelo, beat Canelo, come pound for pound. He's just so flipping. Like, he was talking about, what was it? He was talking about coming back and fighting Floyd like 5 years ago. Oscar De La Hoya, he's absolutely pathetic at this stage. He just loves saying this, that, and the other. Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, what can you say about him? Canelo's trainer, Eddie Reynoso. Politically, it's Adam Boot is great. Yep, big up Adam Boot. Big him up every single time. Adam Boot, Dave Colwell. I know Big Dan would give, if Dan's in the chat, he'd give Adam Boot trainer of the year, no questions asked. Yeah, Adam Boot. Adam Boot would, there's certain fighters you look at and you just think, yes, Adam Boot would do good with him. And there's other fighters you don't. Like I said earlier in the chat, Mike Conlon, no. But Anthony Yard, that ambush style and the mental aspect of it, get him over to Adam Boot's gym in Surrey. Get him over to Adam Boot's gym in Surrey. Spence will probably fight Ugas next. It's not a bad fight, man. It's not great, but yeah, dude, we see Spence. I love watching Errol Spence, man. I'll gladly watch Errol Spence. Salas took Ugas to a regular title, took Joyce to beating underdog, betting underdog to stopping Dubois. Do you know what? I still can't believe how much of an underdog he was in that fight. And then when you look at it, when I looked at it like before the fight, when I changed my prediction, and I was like, yeah, Joyce is the underdog. And you look at it, you're just like, hang on a minute. Wait a minute. This guy is how is he the underdog? But I see what you mean. And Ioka to the pound for pound list. Yeah, Salas had a good year. Ismail Salas. Frank Maloney or a dressed up Oscar De La Hoya. Oh, God. Oh, God. Really? That's harsh, bro. Worst trainer of the year goes to Anthony Yard's trainer. That's harsh. Worst trainer of the year. Oh my God. Worst trainer of the year. You know who I think is the worst trainer of the year? Did any of you guys see that DAZN card where the husband, the flipping husband of one of the fighters, it was remember that female fight that was over in like 10 seconds and it was a brutal knockout. The husband of the female put her in that fight when she clearly was not even remote. She looked terrible going into that fight, right? She looked terrified, and the husband was the trainer, I believe, and was like, yeah, go in there and fight. I mean, that guy, fuck me. Fuck me. Yeah, he clearly loved his wife. Big time. He clearly loved her. Jesus Christ. I mean, that was absolutely disgusting. That knockout was brutal. Nah, G, man, it's happening. Turns out the article writer was lying out of his arse. Oh, thank God for that. Yeah, because I seen that video yesterday. That was the first thing I was like, oh, no, fuck that. Ireland is awful. I'm moving in 2 years full time. Even if, like, I got, like, a job, like, in the UK with, like, a media outlet or something like that, doing what I want to be doing, like MTK or something like that, I would still want to set up shop here. Still my home at the end of the day. But yeah, Ireland has gone to the dogs. Has indeed, but it is what it is. Kovalev fight is happening. No, they'll probably get Malakuziev out, but against who they get him out, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Seeing how fat Mikey is, I wouldn't mind seeing Mikey versus Kell Brook or Mikey versus Can. Mikey Garcia. I haven't seen any pictures. Mikey is a blobber right now. I have to look. Is it on Instagram? I haven't seen Mikey Garcia. Jesus, he's really living off the Errol Spence fight. What's he looking like? Is he on Instagram or something? I'm just gonna check and see, is he on Instagram? Okay, let's have a look. See. Holy shit! Fuck me, man. Holy mother of God, man. Yeah, I can see his Instagram, Devin. I've seen his Instagram. He is looking huge. Man, he is not looking good at all. He is not looking good at all. He is not looking good at all in that picture. Mikey is a blob right now. I mean, like, I wonder, I'm just going to say it. I wonder, is he just doing it because he wants to make 130 or like he wants to make 147? So we can definitely just rule out the possibility of him going down to 140 or anything. I'm not saying he's ducking or anything like that, but you know what I mean? Like, he really wants to be at these high weight classes. Jesus Christ. Is Joe Gallagher overrated as a trainer, or is it very harsh looking in from the outside? Joe Gallagher, he has his own kind of style, and at times when it works, it works well, and he can, he gets praised, definitely. Like, I mean, look at Anthony Crolla when he fought Ishmael Barosas. Barosas never really been many rounds. I think he'd won all his fights bar one by knockout. And what he did was he was just like, took up, just take a few shots, let him tire himself out, worked fine. But then you see other fights where they do that. They do that kind of just let the guy tire you out, this, that, and the other. And it's just not going to work. He's going to take a pound, and he can be reluctant to pull fighters out. Like, look at Scott Quigg when he fought John O'Carroll. I mean, that fight should have been stopped about 5 rounds earlier. And the ironic thing is, right, I remember when Marcus Morrison, one of his fighters, fought Wellborn. And Marcus Morrison took a pretty bad beating in that fight. He wouldn't pull Marcus Morrison out when he really should have. But that was on the night Crolla fought Linares for the second time, and he wanted to pull Crolla out, which was bizarre. It was like one fighter take a beat and you won't pull him out, but then the other fighter's taking a beat and you will put. Now, he didn't pull Crolla out. They ended up letting that fight go on. But it's just, he just does bizarre things. Joe Gallagher, in terms of him pricing him, literally, Joe Gallagher is like the king of price. I'm the king of rip jeans. He's the king of pricing people out. Be like, I think we need more than that. You want this, you want this guy to fight this guy. My guy's only had 2. He's worth more than that. He's worth more than that. Definitely. Have I seen? Yeah. Yeah. He's looking rough. He looks like Andy Ruiz. Mikey Garcia is another great. Waste his best years. You see, Garcia, when he came back, I don't think he necessarily wasted his best years. When he came back, right, he did look still like himself. Like, he still looked quite good. But I think he just decided, you know what, risk it for a chocolate biscuit, and then kind of, so now he's just probably looking to cash out. 48 in the chat, big up. Mikey is so fat now, he must be looking at cruiserweight. Yeah, he's looking bad, man. Considering, like, 2 years out of the ring, he stayed in shape. And he's been out of the ring. He only fought this year or last year. Jesus, he really went all at it. I think what happened if Pacquiao vacates the belt, it's a hard one. It's a hard one. I reckon they might try and go. It's a hard one, man. I don't know what way they'll go. Well, big up to Nick Hamer. Big up to you, my man. Big up to G-Man and the chat. I've been a crap supporter. No, you haven't, my man. You've been brilliant throughout. I thought I had man flu, but got hit hard with Rona. Smash the like button, support the channel. Exactly. We got 42 in the chat. If you could smash the like, man, seriously, big up, man. 10 quid super chat. Smash the like button for fuck's sake. And you say you're not a good supporter, man. You're a great supporter. Have no fear of that, man. Big up. As long as someone comments on a video, I'm happy. Like it, commented, all that jazz. I consider you a top supporter. All right. That's what I call a good supporter. But big up, man. Appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you so much for that, man. Really. That's brilliant. Thank you. Really. Mikey is annoying as hell. He really is. He really is. I really like there was fights to be like, put it like this, right? Mikey Garcia. The Mikey Garcia who came back at 135 pounds, I would have picked him over Lomachenko at 135. And think if he took Lomachenko's scalp. Just think. There's bigger. As I said about Kell Brook in my WTF videos. Oh, and I must mention, I am going to record for all you guys WTF video this weekend. All right. So we'll get another WTF video and we'll delve in with a fine-tooth comb into someone's resume. I see, like, I love doing them videos. It's not even just it's just I love doing them. They're just so much fun. They're just so much fun when you look at these fighters, just like, holy shit. These fighters have gone to the. They've really done. They've just been all over the place. And do you know something, right? You're a mind reader. I was literally going to do him before Christmas. That's what I was thinking of doing Kovalev before Christmas. And then they announced this fight. So I was like, I won't do that just yet. Or actually, no, I was like, yeah, I won't do that fight just yet. I was like, I won't do it. I'll leave it a little bit longer. But Kovalev, the WTF videos are awesome. Man, I love the WTF video. I love doing them. They take, like, the Kell Brook video was like, I think 40 minutes long. So it took me like, you know, between editing the video down, because although it's like 40 minutes long, I went on a bit longer than that, but there's bits I want to edit out and shit like that. It takes about an hour and a half to edit, give or take. And yeah, but it's just, they are so much fun to do. I love doing them. But yeah, WTF, what happened to that guy? And the problem is, right, and I keep saying it, right, I do want to do it with fighters who've retired, because all the fighters I've done are fighters like semi-active, like Pricey is, God knows. Could imagine Pricey versus Babbage. That'd be so funny. Man, that'd be an interesting fight, Pricey versus Babbage. But we've got guys like him who are kind of knocking around. Kell Brook still knocking around. And who else did I do? Wilder. Man, that was fun. And the great thing is, right, that has like 100 and something comments on it, that WTF Wilder video. And like, there's hardly, like, I think there's like one Wilder fan, because there was nothing in that video that I said that wasn't true about Deontay Wilder's career. It's crazy. You guys as WBA regulars, I'll probably elevate him to super. I see McGregor give an interview today, actually, where he was saying that he wants to win a world title in boxing. I mean, seriously. He's fighting this weekend, I think. I think Sarah, actually, big up to her. She was the one who put it in one of my videos. She commented on one of my videos saying that he's fighting this weekend. I mean, Jesus. McGregor, like, Jesus. Did the official location of AJ? No, it hasn't yet, man. It hasn't. Look, someone in the chat earlier said that they were told by someone in Little, in like near Croke Park, that it might be in Croke Park. I can't see that for a variety of reasons, and primarily Fury. Like, I'd see a load of issues with like rival traveler groups. That's the big issue I see, amongst other things. But I can't see that. I reckon Saudi Arabia. And if I have to have a trip to Saudi Arabia, I'll take a trip to Saudi Arabia. I will go. We'll have the YouTubers on. I say me, probably they will go over with the YouTubers meet and greet in Saudi Arabia. There you go. Be like, I meant to say it actually. Did any of you guys see me on Talk? Your boy was on TalkSport again yesterday. It was big fun. It was good fun. It was good fun actually on TalkSport yesterday. Just thought I'd chuck that one in there. What's Jamel Charlo's next move after he pretty much becomes undisputed? After he pretty much became undisputed, I think he should move up. He decides to go up to middleweight. I wonder, will his punching power be the same? Charlo's punching power, he really needs the guy to be standing in front of him in order for him to be able to throw maximum power. He is very heavy-handed. when he's able to, engage and throw his power shots. He is very heavy-handed. Joe Stunner, big up, man. Thank you so much, my friend. Big up for that, man. Thank you for the super chat, man. And it's been great. Can't stay on a G-Man. Hashtag G-Man's rocks. No, man. As long as you guys are in here, I'm happy. Man, I'm happy. As long as you guys are all in here, I'm all G. Stay as long as you need. I like answering all your questions. I love doing these live streams. Jamel will fight Casano. I'm just saying it wrong. It's like me trying to say Obale. Donero Obale or something like that. If he beats Patrick, what's his name? Patrick Teixeira for the WBO. It's for the WBO. And I know Al Heyman does not recognize the WBO, or he said he doesn't recognize it. So I'd imagine they probably won't go down that route. They might, but I'd imagine they won't. I reckon Charlo will go up to middleweight, personally. I reckon they'll go up to middleweight. Yes, I seen that. Rakhimov tested positive for COVID. The Jojo Diaz fight is off. Yes, I did see that. I seen that, but before it must be true if a person heard it little. Yeah, yeah. Oh, if you heard it little, then there's no denying it must be true. Oh, stop. It's like all the big fights getting canceled. Look, we still have plenty of time. I'm an optimist, man. Right? I believe we'll get these big fights soon. Right? Might not get them straight away. We still get them. Right? We still get them. Right? So these are just, what was it? They're just little bumps in the roads. Right? We'll get these fights still. No fear of that. I think Jamal Charlo beats all at 160. Maybe not Demetrius Andre, but look great against Derevchenko. I want to see him move up. Jamal Charlo versus Demetrius Andre, man. Like, Demetrius beating a fan of Demetrius Andre is hard, because I've gone to the stage now where I just can't defend him at this stage. I don't want it. Like, what I say is, like, I think he's a very, very talented fighter. I think he is very good, but it's just, I think he's wasted his talent by fighting just cream puff after cream puff. I mean, come on. You signed this matchroom deal and you fight Kawandakwa, Selecki, what was the guy's name? Akimov or something like the guy Billy Joe fought years ago in that leisure center, and Luke Keeler. Come on now. Man, last meaningful fight you had was against Kulkai. And Kulkai is not that good. Come on now. Charlo should go for undisputed. It pisses me off. It would piss me. See, I just can't see it. I just think they'd be like, well, we're already undisputed. We don't need that WBO title, So I don't know. I can't see it happening. Why did that disappear? What do you think of the rumor Hrgovic versus Bacoli fight? Oh, wow. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I would make Bacoli favorite. Personally. But I think that's an excellent fight if it happens. I hope it does happen. Do you know what, Nicholas, right? Personally, you see Jamel being better than Jamal, but they're both quality. Do you know what I think, right? And I've said this before, I'll say it again, right? They're both good fighters. They're both very, very, very good fighters. But I actually think Jamal is better, right? I think the difference is that Jamel has improved more. Like, you go back and look at Jamel when he was fighting guys like Marta Rosian and John Jackson. He wasn't looking particularly good. Yeah, he was winning. But, like, look at the Marta Rosian fight. It was close, right? He's improved so much these last few years, right? Whereas Jamal has always been good. Like, the Derevchenko fight, I thought it would be competitive, but I was very impressed with the way he looked in that fight. I think he's talented as hell. So I've always felt that Jamal is actually the better of the two. There's not much in it, but I think Jamel has improved more. Therefore, a lot of people would look at Jamel and say, well, he's the better fighter. But it's like, he's improved a lot more. He's looked a lot more devastating. But look at him earlier on in his career. Like, he was winning, but he was looking. There was shaky moments there. There was just moments where you were like, I wonder. So that's what I think. I agree. I don't think Demetrius Andre is made for 168. I really don't. I really don't think he is. I think at 160, him versus Billy Joe at 160 is interesting. Him at 168, I mean, Billy Joe is more acclimatized to that. He's more acclimatized to the division. So I'd make him, I'd pick Billy Joe at 168. I meant to click on your one there, Nick. It's harder to be a fan of Demetrius Andrade than Billy Joe. That's saying something. It is because you see, I see a good fighter there, but he's just. It's just you want those pieces to come together. Like this is the most annoying thing when you see him in fights like against Willie Nelson or in fights like against Luke Keeler, or Cameron Dockway, you see the good that Demetrius Andrade has. You just see the talent there, and then he just decides I'll coast, and you're just like, come on, man, come on. Billy Joe gonna have a warm up? Really, really? Billy Joe to have a warm up fight then, Canelo? So could we potentially see it then in September, maybe? Maybe in September, maybe we'll get Triple G versus Canelo in May. I wonder when they're going to announce Canelo versus Yildirim, because you'd imagine they'll get that fight through fairly quickly. I mean, like that's really just in out kind of in out next day regret type of job. That's what that fight is. Think Fowler, Anthony Fowler at 30 and fighting British level is shocking. Spent way too long in the amateurs. Yeah, Anthony Fowler. To me, I think even even Sky commentators admitted to this. I think when he fought, what was it? When he fought the fight before he fought Fitzgerald, I forget who he fought, but they were saying Anthony Fowler was like an old 28-year-old. I think it might be when he fought Jay Byrne, actually, when I think back to it. They were like, he's an old 28-year-old because he's taking a lot of shots in the amateurs. Yeah, I can't see Fowler doing much, to be honest with you. He might, I think probably now he'd beat Scott Fitzgerald because Fitzy is just seemingly all over the shop. I mean, remember last year when the lockdown started, he had all those issues. I'd imagine he's just so erratic, Scott Fitzgerald, and that doesn't adhere you to a long career. And I remember when Scott Fitzgerald, the fight before he fought Fowler, I forget the guy's name he fought, but he was losing that fight and he ended up pulling out in the 10th round. I mean, Fitzy is just erratic. That's not good. If you choose any division to get a World Box Super Series, which would you pick? Light or super fly and heavyweight? Super fly and heavy. If we could get Ioka Gonzalez, right? Ioka Gonzalez, right? Tanaka, Estrada. Who else? Nietes. I'm probably forgetting guys' names. Jesus, who else do we have? We've got, I think, is Maloney still fighting at super? There's so many, man. I'm probably forgetting some of the guys. Room Vasai. I mean, like, damn. Obviously, we're probably not going to get all them in it, but if we could, Martinez, if he moved up, and Cassis, I mean, come on. Superfly. What? That division's been lit for years. Like, that division is just crazy. 140 again, maybe, because there's great fights at 140. Heavyweight. I mean, man. And Cassis. What's he doing these days? I haven't seen or heard from him in a while. I heard PBC doing Yildirim, then Sweet Hands in a 2-fight deal. Wow. Jesus. I mean, Caliplant, I mean, Jesus Christ. A good fighter, but I'd pick Billy Joe and I'd definitely pick Benavidez at this stage. A good fighter, there's a good fighter there, but I was surprised. I thought the fight between him against I was picking against him against, what was the guy's name? Who's Cat's guy? I thought his Cat's guy would win that fight. He was actually impressive. I thought, and I remember he was mandatory for the Gale. I was like, the Gale would have got lit up against this Cat's guy. Hashtag G-Man's rocks. It is. Fowler wants to do Fitzgerald after his next fight. He's avoiding the EBU route for taking. Yeah. Sergey Garcia at 154. Oh boy. He will light Anthony Fowler up. He's not a big puncher, Garcia, but damn, he will light Anthony Fowler up with shots. So, yeah, if I was Fowler, I mean, he's looked a little bit better under. But you remember, it was hard to look bad against the guy who didn't have the right shoes on. Do you remember that guy? What was his name? Tete or something? That was funny as hell. Like, I laughed me heart out when I seen the poor guy. The poor guy. The lad who didn't have the right shoes on. That was sad. Canelo was going to do what he did against Kovalev against all the boxers, like Billy Joe planned walking down. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't think he'd stop Billy Joe. I think Plants was hurt a little bit against Uzkas guy. Had to pass the eye test for me, but his gas tank is suspicious. It is. He's very big for the weight. I will give him that. And his opponents since Eubank have been horrendous. I mean, Caleb Truax. I mean, Jesus, come on, Caleb flipping Truax, lad. Eubank versus Murata WBA. Both excellent fights, in my opinion. I would go with Murata because that fight will be in Japan. Definitely be in Japan. Munguia versus Williams. I mean, damn. That is going to be, man, that will be fan friendly. I mean, Williams has that kind of bullish, I'm going to bully you mentality. Munguia will oblige. Man, that fight will be off. That would be something else. And Cass's promoter wants Ioka next. That's from what I've heard. Bob Arum is in Cass's promoter last time I checked. Yeah, I'd be going with Ioka in that fight, man. Man, Ioka is just that whole division. In Casas, Gonzalez, Ioka, and Estrada. They're the champions. I mean, that says it all. That literally says it all. That literally says it all. Lads, I'm gonna call it here. What I'm gonna do is I have to make a couple of videos for tomorrow. I gotta give you guys your content. I like to do my daily uploads. I took a little rest last night. I just wasn't feeling it. And the news about Kovalev came out. But I've got some videos I want to make. So tomorrow, Friday, as always, lads, you get a few videos from me. But for now, I'm going to call it quits here. Big up to all you guys. Big up to CG. Big up to Nicholas. I wonder how far back this is going to let me go. Big up to Nick, man. I appreciate your super chat again, man. I'm really, seriously, thank you for that, man. Every single time. Big up to Helen every time. Love having you in the chat, man. Hope you enjoyed it. Big up a few people. Joe, every time. Big up to Joe every single time. Love having you in here. There we go. Mark Unrivaled, man. Excellent as always. I'm glad. One thing I'm happy about, right? Mark's channel, finally, you're back up and running. You're uploading, no questions asked. That's the main thing. I'm happy because I love your videos, bro. Love watching your videos, right? Always informative, insightful. Love them. But big up to Nick. And smash the like button if you could, lads, on the way out. Big up to CG. Big up to Helen as always. Lads, you see some videos from me tomorrow. Peace for now. And as always, oh yeah, we'll get a stream the weekend as well. So we'll see you then. Lads, big up to all yous. I'll talk to yous. I'm out, lads.